Only on 7 May 1931, the most sensational manhunt New York City had ever known had come in its climate after weeks of search. Two-gun Crowley was at bay trapped in his sweetheart's apartment on West End Avenue. 150 policemen and detectives blazed Saige to his top floor hideaway. They chopped the hole in the roof. They tried to smoke out Crowley with the coke killer with tear gas. Then they mounted their machine guns on surrounding buildings, and for more than an hour, one of New York's fine residential areas reverberated with the crack of pistol fire and the rat-tat-tat of machine guns. 10,000 excited people watched the battle, nothing like it had ever been seen before on the sidewalks of New York. When Crowley was captured, Police Commissioner E.P. Moloney declared that the two-gun Desperado was one of the most dangerous criminals ever encountered in the history of New York. He will kill, said the commissioner at the drop of a feather. But how did Two-Gun Crowley regard himself? We know because while the police were firing into the apartment, he wrote a letter addressed to whom it may concern, and as he wrote, the blood flowing from his bones left a crimson trail on the paper. The In this letter, Crowley said, "Under my post is a very hard but a kind one, one that would do nobody any harm." A short time before this, Crowley had been having a making party with his girlfriend on a country road out on Long Island. Suddenly, uh, suddenly a policeman walked up to the car and said, "Let me see your license." Without saying a word, Crowley drew his gun and cut the policeman down with the store of lead. As the dying officer fell, Crowley leapt out of the car, grabbed the officer's revolver, and fired another bullet into the prostrate body. And that was the killer who said, "Under my couch is a very hard but a kind one that would do nobody any harm." Crowley was sentenced to the electric chair when he arrived at the at the at the death house in Sing Sing. He said, "This is what I get for defending myself." The point of this story is Sugan Crowley didn't blame himself for anything. "I have spent the best years of my life giving people in a lighter pleasure, helping them have a good time, and all I get is abuse. The existence of existence of a haunted man." This is the second story. That A.L. Capman speaking. Yes, America's most mischievous public enemy, the most sinister gang leader who ever shot up Chicago. Capman didn't condemn himself. He actually regarded himself as a public beneficiary, an unappreciated and misunderstood public beneficiary. He actually regarded himself as a public beneficiary, an unappreciated and misunderstood public beneficiary, and so did the cult before he crumpled up under the gangster bullet in New York. Dutch cult is one of New York's most notorious attacks. For me, I have had some interesting correspondence with Louis Laws, who was warden of New York's insane prison for many years on this subject, and he declared that few of the criminals in thinking regard themselves as a bad man. They are just as human as you and I. So they rationalize, they explain, they can tell you why they had to crack a safe or be click on the pull trigger or trigger finger. Most of them attempt by a form of reasoning, fallacies, or logical to justify their antisocial act even to themselves, consequently solely maintaining that they should never have been imprisoned at all. If A.L. Capone to Gun Crowley, Dutch Cultures, and the desperate man and woman behind prison walls don't blame themselves for anything. What about the people with whom you and I come in contact? John Wanamaker, founder of the store that bears his name, once confessed, I learned 30 years ago that it is a foolish code. I have enough trouble overcoming my own limitations without fretting over the fact that God has not seen fit to distribute evenly the gift of intelligence. Wanamaker learned this early, but I personally had to blunder through this old world for a third century before it even began to dawn upon me that 99 times out of 100 people don't criticize themselves for anything, no matter how wrong it may be. Criticism is futile because it puts a person on the defensive and usually make him strive to justify him. Criticism is dangerous because it wants a person's precious pride hurts his sense of importance and arouses resentment. D. F. Skinner, the world-famous psychologist, proved through his experience that an animal rewarded for good behavior will learn much more rapidly and retain what it learns far more effectively than an animal punished for bad behavior. Doing. Later studies have shown that the same applies to women. By criticizing, you do not make lasting changes and often incur resentment. But thank you. Bob likes it.